Good stuff.
Call the meeting to order. Supervisor Fisher, would you lead us in an invocation?
Let us pray. Dear Lord and Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for our many blessings, and we give thanks for this area of the Shenandoah Valley in which we live. We ask for your protection and care for the men and women of our armed services serving throughout the world and in this country to preserve our freedoms. And with all the contention and the talk of war and threats of not getting along with nation to nation, we pray for peace and reconciliation among the nations. We ask for your guidance and direction in our work tonight for the citizens of Frederick County. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Chairman Ewing, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please stand, face the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adoption of the agenda, Mr. Riley?
No changes, Mr. Chairman.
All right, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Supervisor DeHaven. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Supervisor Hess. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The agenda is adopted. Consent agenda, Mr. Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd offer the following tabs. Tabs D, proclamation declaring April 14 through 20, 2013, National Telecommunicators Week. Tab E, memorandum re-closing of offices for annual Apple Blossom Festival. Tab 6, resolution adoption of the Northern Shenandoah Valley Regional Hazardous Mitigation Plan. Tab H, transportation plan. And Tab I, departmental fiscal year annual work programs.
Questions? If not, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Supervisor Collins. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Supervisor Ewing. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The consent agenda is approved. Citizen comments for agenda items only, not subject to public hearing. Mr. Riley, did anyone sign up?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We have 7 people that have signed up. First speaker is Jonathan Hanson, speaking on the Cincinnati Road Improvement Project.
If you'd repeat your name, please give your magisterial district and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
All right. My name is Jonathan Hanson. I live in the Bat Creek District at this time. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening regarding the Cincinnati Road project. Again, my name is Jonathan Hanson. I'm a Frederick County resident. I was recruited by Winchester Medical Center in 1998 to come here as a nurse to work in the cardiovascular ICU. And once I accepted that job at Winchester Medical Center, I was given a sign-on bonus, and that gave me and my family the opportunity to buy a house in Winchester and come and enjoy this beautiful area. At that time, we bought a house in Hill Valley Drive, which is around the corner off of Greenwood from Cincinnati Road. And one of the reasons that we chose that location is because I wanted the ability to commute to work, both for health reasons and financial reasons. And I took that opportunity. I ran, and I rollerbladed, and I rode my bike. And Route 7 probably wasn't a very good way to do that. I learned that on one of my first rollerblading down the sidewalk of Route 7. So I chose a Greenwood and Cincinnati and Cork Street and then into Amherst, and I became very familiar with those areas. And if the winter would allow me, I commuted all winter long. I was an avid mountain biker at the time that we moved here, and I continued to explore the area and the woods around Greenwood, Valley Mill, and Cincinnati Road. And unfortunately, during that time, things continued to grow. The housing developments were growing, and the trails and paths that I was mountain biking on became subdivisions. And so I became a road biker. And I found direction and friendship in the Winchester Wheelman Group. And my trail exploring became side road and community exploring with my new friends. And Cincinnati Road wasn't just my commute, but it was a gateway to everywhere. And unfortunately, a few years ago, my wife and I made a decision as things continued to grow in the area and change, and there was too many close calls in my commute that we decided to move to Middletown. But I'm here tonight, and I'm missing one of my rides that I really enjoy down in Stevens City tonight, because I think it's important to talk about the Cincinnati Road project. Because I have many reasons that this should happen. I know that Frederick County is continuing to grow, but how will it grow? And I know that it will never be a rural community that it was when my family that I were attracted here, but hopefully it can be a place that will grow and attract other young families that want safe and healthy areas to commute and for recreational running and biking. And I hope this project can be completed. Thank you.
Next, Mr. Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sean Carrico, Stevens City.
I'm Sean Carrico, and I reside in the Opequon District in Stevens City. And I'm here to speak on behalf of the Winchester Wheelmen, as I am the president of the club, and I thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing me the time. We have a club of about 150 members, 50% of which reside in Frederick County. Another 35% reside in the city of Winchester, but do a lot of riding in the county and support local county businesses on those rides for buying things such as Gatorade and snacks at the convenience stores. I would really like to see the county invest the one-time amount of approximately $110,000 to widen Cincinnati Road to make it safer for biking for commuting purposes, recreation purposes, running, and whatnot. Not only that, I feel that roads with wider shoulders are safer for general vehicular traffic because you have less of a chance of dropping off of the edge of the road and overcorrecting and having an accident. And again, I think this is a good investment for the county to make. It's my understanding the county has in the neighborhood of $30 million in reserves, so spending $110,000 of that is not really that much to do to make 2 miles of Cincinnati Road a much safer area. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Next, Mr. Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. William Barty.
Good evening. I'm William Barty from the Shawnee District. I've been to a couple of meetings and I've asked a lot of questions, obtaining information and so forth. So this evening, I'd like to give a great big thank you to the school board chairman, Mr. Walk, and the financial office down there. They was very quickly and very spontaneous at getting back with a lot of questions I had asked and information I was seeking. And this endeavor to find out how the budget works and through these things, there has been awarding experiences, there has been disappointing experiences, and one couple of my disappointing things is I heard the school rate graduation was 88%. 12% four-year students drop out. I have not heard from any superintendent of the school board, or this board addressing what we're going to do for the 12% that are not here. They're our school kids. We're the parents. I'd like to see somebody address and come up with some plan to help those at 12%. The other thing I'm disappointed in is the lack of information in a timely fashion that you can get to it, trying to get to it in a timely manner so we can address issues on the board, so we can be involved citizens. As I've come to meetings here and some of the school boards, I look around and I see individuals, and I'm not criticizing anyone, here to push their agenda. They're not getting involved in the overall amount of money, what it consists of, what the school board does, what all the county does for the citizens, and so forth. And I look back, and not that many people, and I've been one of them. I'm not excusing myself. So I think that's a really important issue to look into. How do you get more citizens to participate in this important endeavor? This school, your board, the school board, and I did hear from the school board, and I went to a meeting. They're doing a wonderful thing of looking at new ways of instructional for the kids and starting at an earlier age. So those are good things to hear. Those are the positive things that are being done. But we don't hear it. I don't have kids in school. I'm a retired citizen. Kind of like the school is, I don't exist. So how do I get information? How do y'all get information to us? We're all not computer literate at my age. So Those are just it. I just like to see more information, more cooperation from citizens, and I'll just close it out at informed citizens will make a stronger and better government for all of us. Thank you.
Next, Mr. Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman Stewart, Mike Perry, to speak on the Cincinnati Road project.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm Stuart M. Perry II. I go by Mike. Stuart M. Perry I was my grandfather. I'm sure you're aware we've had a business in Winchester since 1934 out on Route 50 West. And in fact, my family has lived in this county, both my father and mother's side, for over 100 years. So I have a vested interest in this community. And there are times come up when I think that things should be done. And just to give you an idea, I don't need to tell you the changes that have taken place in this community. We have grown phenomenally in the last 2 decades. We had thousands of new houses, new streets, new places for people to move about. But so far, it only provides for people to move about by car. And what I would like to do is to see the Cincinnati Road corridor have paved shoulders. It's only 4 foot, and it doesn't have to be called a bike lane. It can be called a paved shoulder. It does multiple things. It provides you safety for a cyclist or a pedestrian or a rollerblader or somebody with a child in a carrier. I just spent my day, by the way, I got sun on me. We drove down to Fairfax and got on our bikes and rode on a bike lane all the way into the city of Washington, D.C., rode on bike lanes there, went across 14th Street Bridge, came back and got on 3 other bike trails, got back to Fairfax and never had to deal with traffic. Now, those aren't paved shoulders. I know those are bike lanes, but it's the potential of what you can do. And the other thing I would like to mention to you just tonight is from a business point of view. I own a bicycle shop. I've owned a bicycle shop first in Frederick County, then in Winchester. I bought Blue Ridge Schwinn years ago from Dr. Laidlaw, and we moved it over on Paper Mill Road. So what I see is all these new people coming to town. They're coming from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, from the Rust Belt, where they've lost jobs, and they come down here for jobs. And they come in the bike shop, and the very first question they ask me is, where can I ride my bike? I've gone out somewhere, and it's dangerous because there's no paved shoulders. Every state that they've come from has had paved shoulders. And I said, well, let's see. You can ride on the Green Circle. There's a 1-mile segment on Jubal Early. There's about a half-a-mile segment right at Shenandoah University. You can go down to Shenandoah Park, which is probably our shining star. They've got a nice 3.5-mile trail there, which is a bike trail itself, and they're building a mountain bike trail there. But other than that, I have no place else to send them. So well, where can I go ride? So I send them to Hancock, Maryland, to ride on the Western Maryland Trail. I send them down to the WOD3 in Purcellville, the WNOD Washington Old Dominion Railroad Trail. And what I'm doing is I'm sending them and their money somewhere else. And they're seeking safety. And this is what paved shoulders can give us, is safety. I have placed up here that I talked to the Transportation Committee, and I will leave copies up here for any of you who didn't get it, of the value of a paved shoulder. And it's more than just safety for a person. There are construction reasons. My family's been in the construction business, and if you go out into Frederick County, all you have to do is look at the shoulders out there. And if you're walking or riding a bicycle, you have no place to go except the ditch. Anyway, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Next, Mr. Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Steve Breeden.
Good evening. I'm in the Redbud District. I live in Pioneer Heights, and I commute to Stevens City from there. So I take Cincinnati Road away from town, but I ride about 7,000 or 8,000 miles a year, and I'll ride pretty much anywhere. I'll ride my bike in downtown Manhattan, no problem, but I will not ride on Cincinnati Road. It's just too dangerous. And I think my main concern is that even though it's dangerous, I still see lots of people riding bikes, not just recreational riders such as us, but people that are obviously commuting to work and on old beat-up bikes, and people walking to work early in the morning. I'm sure you've all seen that. And then occasionally I'll see children riding on Cincinnati Road, and that makes me pretty nervous. So it'd really be good, I think, to have a lane or shoulder so we could get into the city. Because right now our only option is Berryville Avenue, which is what I ride. Because it's Berryville Avenue with 4 lanes of traffic is still safer than Cincinnati Road. As you all know, pretty much every city that I'm aware of is improving their bike infrastructure. So if you look at Portland, New York, San Francisco, I know they've got they're different. They have a lot of money and all that. But if we could do some of these small improvements, I think, and others, because we'll need more as the city expands. But as we do these improvements, I think you'll see that it'll make a big positive difference for the city and the county. And thank you very much.
Next, Mr. Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ed, and if I mispronounce your last name, I apologize. It's tough to read. I'm going to say it's Schrock.
That's close enough. Edward Schrank. And I'm from Redbud District. Thank you very much, gentlemen, both for your time and serving this community in our county, and also for letting me speak tonight. I am Ed Schrank. I live in Oakdale Crossing off of Cincinnati Road. I've been a resident here about 12 years. I teach at Shenandoah University. My students will love to have one of these 3-minute timers, by the way, so they could cut me off. But I would like you to know that I'm strongly in favor of the paving of the road there, the shoulders at Cincinnati Road. And I think that Frederick County needs to do whatever we can do to make our roads both street, biker, and runner friendly. We moved here 12 years ago from Colorado, and we're very surprised at the lack of infrastructure that there was for getting around without a car. I commuted along Cincinnati Road on my bike for many years, but gave it up a couple years ago, as you've heard, because of the dangers of riding up and down that road. My wife still runs along that road. You can see her here there just about every day. She's the rocket that runs up and down that road, but she's had many close calls as well. As a physical therapist, I deal with the effects of obesity in our population on a daily basis, and the lack of sidewalks and trails in our area greatly inhibits the easy daily exercise that we all need. We need safe biking, hiking, running trails connecting our communities and schools. Completing this section of road will be a great start for this portion of the county and allow easy access into the city and easy access out of the city to the great cycling that we have on our county roads. I feel that this is a very worthwhile investment of our county funds and a great return on investment. Thank you for your time.
Riley, next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The last person to sign up is Jay Martz.
Good evening. I'm Jay March from the Gainesboro District. Chairman Schickel, members of the board, Administrator Riley, it appears that you will be adopting the largest county budget in many years and the largest single-year percentage increase that I could find records on. Seems a shame the increase in budget is twice the population increase on a percentage basis. I hope the economic indicators cited in the board meeting minutes hold true. The taxpayers could use some good news. However, if the board continues on the same trend of the last several years, any surplus will be spent and the taxpayers may be subjected to higher tax rates. It appears the special interest lobby was successful in swaying your favor on the budget options. I would hope that after several years of bonuses and salary increases for our public servants, that perhaps the taxpayers could get some relief in the next budget cycle. Additionally, I'm pleased to see action on the expense recovery initiative. I think it is a worthwhile experiment. I hope we can monitor it and ensure that it does not have the unintended consequences of becoming a government takeover of a great community volunteer program. Thank you for the opportunity to address the board.
That was it, Mr. Riley?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Are there any Board of Supervisors comments? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the minutes of the regular meeting, March 27th, 2013.
Approval is submitted.
We have a motion by Supervisor DeHaven to approve. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Supervisor Fisher. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The minutes of the regular meeting, March 27th, 2013 are approved. Next, under county officials, is the adoption of fiscal year 2013-2014 budget. Mr. Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whereas a notice of public hearing and budget synopsis has been published and a public hearing held on March the 27th, 2013 in accordance with Title 15.2, Chapter 25, Section 15.2, 2506 of the Code of Virginia 1950 as amended. Therefore, be it further resolved by the Board of Supervisors of the County of Frederick, Virginia, that the budget for the 2013-2014 fiscal year as advertised in the Winchester Star on March the 18th, 2013, be hereby approved in the amount of $329,342,306. Be it further resolved that the County of Frederick budget for the year 2013-2014 be adopted as follows. General Operating Fund, $133,024,407. Regional Jail Fund, $18,415,374. Landfill Fund, $6,626,620. Division of Court Services Fund, $600,489. Shawnee Land Sanitary District Fund, $849,550. Airport Operating Fund, $2,298,838. Lake Holiday Sanitary District Fund, $1,120,326. School Operating Fund, $134,043. School Debt Service Fund, $14,954,701. School Capital Projects Fund, $1,182,640. School Nutrition Services Fund, $6,124,927. School Textbook Fund, $2,158,429. NREP Operating Fund, $4,819,862. NREP Textbook Fund, $50,000. Consolidated Services Maintenance Fund, $3,100,000. School Trust Funds, $16,100. Be it further resolved that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Frederick, Virginia, does herein adopt the tax rates for the 2013 assessment year as follows. Property taxes rates at per hundred of assessed value, 58.5 cents applied to real estate, including mobile homes, $4.86 applied to personal property, $2.25 applied to personal property on one vehicle to volunteer firefighters that are approved and registered with Frederick County Fire and Rescue Department, 1 cent applied to airplanes, 0 tax applied to antique vehicles, $2 on declining values to be applied to machinery and tools. The declining values are 60% for year 1, 50% for year 2, 40% for year 3, and 30% for year 4 and all subsequent years. $2 on apportioned percentage of book values to be applied to contract classified vehicles and equipment. Business and professional occupational license rates, contractors, 16 cents per $100 of gross receipts. Retail, 20 cents per $100 of gross receipts. Financial, real estate, and professional services, 58 cents per $100 of gross receipts. Repair, personal and business services, and all other businesses and occupations not specifically listed or exempted in the county code, 36 cents per $100 of gross receipts. Wholesale, 5 cents per $100 of purchases. The tax rates for other businesses and occupations specifically listed in the county code are also unchanged. Other general taxes, meals tax, 4% of gross receipts. Transient occupancy tax, 2% of gross receipts. Vehicle license taxes, $25 per vehicle and $10 per motorcycle. Sanitary landfill fees, $45 per ton for commercial industrial waste, $42 per ton for construction demolition debris, $12 per ton for municipal waste, and $28 per ton for municipal sludge. Shawnee Land Sanitary District taxes, $180 for unimproved lots, $530 for improved lots. Lake Holiday Sanitary District taxes, $678 per buildable lot, $264 for unbuildable lots. Star Fort subdivision taxes fees, $60 per lot. Street light fees, Oakdale Crossing and Fredericktown, $60 annually. Green Acres, $25 annually. Be it further resolved that appropriations are hereby authorized for the Central Stores Fund, Special Welfare Fund, Comprehensive Services Fund, County Health Insurance Fund, School Health Insurance Fund, Length of Service Fund, Special Grant Awards Fund, Employee Benefits Fund, Maintenance Insurance Fund, Development Project Fund, Sales Tax Fund, Commonwealth Sales Tax Fund, Unemployment Compensation Fund, DARE Program, and forfeited assets program equal to the total cash balance on hand at July 1, 2013, plus the total amount of receipts for fiscal year 2013-2014. The fire company capital appropriation will include the current year appropriation plus any unused funds at the end of fiscal year 2013. Be it further resolved that funding for all outstanding encumbrances at June 30, 2013 are reappropriated to 2013-14 fiscal year to the same department and account for which they are encumbered in the 2012-2013 fiscal year. Be it further resolved that the construction fund projects will be appropriated as a carry forward in the amount that equals the approved original project costs less expenditures and encumbrances through June 30, 2013.
Questions for Mr. Riley?
Mr. Chairman,
Supervisor Ewing.
make a motion for approval of the FY 2013-2014 budget resolution as presented.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Supervisor Hess. Discussion. Hearing none. Supervisor Hess.
Here. Yeah, aye, excuse me.
Supervisor Collins.
Aye.
Supervisor Fisher.
Aye.
Supervisor Ewing.
Aye.
Supervisor DeHaven.
Aye.
Supervisor Lofton.
Aye.
Chairman votes aye, and the fiscal year 2013-2014 budget is adopted. Next on the agenda are citizen committee appointments. Are we ready for Parks and Rec?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate Greg Brondos as the Gainsborough District Representative on the Parks and Recreation Commission.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Supervisor Fisher. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Mr. Greg Brondos is appointed to the Parks and Recreation Committee. Historic Resources Advisory Board, I think we're still without. Is that correct, Mr. Riley?
Yes, sir.
Russell 150 Development Authority, I don't believe we have anybody there.
No, sir.
Planning Commission, Back Creek, are we ready?
No, sir. I've talked to Mr. Crozier previously. He is not planning on seeking reappointment, but I do have a couple other people I'm talking to.
Okay. Planning Commission, Pekin?
I haven't spoken with Mr. Thomas yet, Mr. Chairman. I'll follow up later.
All right. Lord Fairfax Emergency Medical Services Board, the Frederick County Representative. I don't know if we've talked to Mr. Price.
We have not, and if it's your pleasure, we could ask the Fire and Rescue Association for an endorsement.
Hearing something to counter to that, I would ask Mr. Riley to do that. Okay. Social Services Board, Gainsborough, are we ready?
No, sir.
Winchester Regional Airport Authority, Frederick County Representative. Has anybody talked to Mr. Reichert?
Mr. Chairman, I'd be glad to do that before the next meeting.
All right. Thank you. Next is a request from the Commissioner of Revenue for a refund. Mr. Riley?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The county attorney is in receipt of the Commissioner's request dated March 27, 2013, to authorize the treasurer to refund Hamel Trucking, Inc. in the amount of $3,504.28 for adjustment to business licenses for 1 or more years. Specific year information is not disclosed in this memorandum so as not to reveal confidential specific annual gross revenue amounts. Hamel Trucking is licensed under interstate commerce and as such cannot be taxed for a business license on their gross receipts. They were unaware of their exemption when they filed, and staff did not know their federal status. And pursuant to Section 58.1, 3981A of the Code of Virginia, it's respectfully requested that the board approve same.
Questions, Mr. Riley? If not, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move for a refund to Hamel Trucking.
We have a motion to approve by Supervisor Ewing. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Supervisor DeHaven. Discussion. Hearing none. Supervisor Lofton.
Aye.
Supervisor DeHaven.
Aye.
Supervisor Ewing.
Aye.
Supervisor Fisher.
Aye.
Supervisor Collins.
Aye.
Supervisor Hess.
Aye.
Chairman votes aye, and the refund is approved. Next is the public hearing. It's an outdoor festival permit request. Mr. Riley, you're doing that?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is an outdoor festival permit request of Belgrove Plantation of Ale and History Microbrew and Imported Beer Tasting Festival. And this is pursuant to the Frederick County Code, Chapter 86, Festivals, Permit Required, and the application and the issuance or denial for an outdoor festival permit. The festival will be held on Saturday, May the 11th, 2013, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the grounds of Belgrove Plantation, 336 Belgrove Road, Middletown, Virginia. Property is owned by the National Trust for the Historic Preservation.
Questions of Mr. Riley? Is there an applicant present who wishes to speak?
I'm Sandy Dunkel, Chairman-elect of the Belgrove Board. As Mr. Riley said, this is our 18th annual of Ale and History Beer Festival. This is one of our largest fundraising events. As you know, we are take care of all of our funds, and so we would ask that you approve our request. I have a copy of the ABC license if anybody would like to see it. Thank you.
We'll now conduct a public hearing to consider an outdoor festival permit request of Belgrove Plantation of Ale and History Microbrew and Imported Beer Tasting Festival pursuant to the Frederick County Code, Chapter 86, Festivals, Section 86.3, for an outdoor festival permit. Festival to be held on Saturday, May the 11th, 2013, from 11 a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. on the grounds of Belgrove Plantation, 336 Belgrove Road, Middletown, Virginia, property owned by the National Trust for Historic Preservation. Is there anyone here who would like to speak either for or against this outdoor festival permit? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing.
Back Creek.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, as long as I've known about this festival, it's always been a very successful and a very well-run event. I've not heard of any problems whatsoever, so I would move the approval of the application for an outdoor festival for Belgrove Plantation for the Of Ale and History Festival.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Supervisor Ewing. Discussion. Hearing none. Supervisor Hess.
Aye.
Supervisor Collins.
Aye.
Supervisor Fisher.
Aye.
Supervisor Ewing.
Aye.
Supervisor DeHaven.
Aye.
Supervisor Lofton.
Aye.
Chairman votes aye, and the outdoor festival permit request of Belgrove Plantation is approved. Next item on the agenda is another public hearing, another outdoor festival permit request of Virginia Eagle Distributing. Mr. Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a request for an outdoor festival permit from Virginia Eagle Distributing. Welcome Clydesdales. This is pursuant to the Frederick County Code, Chapter 86, Festivals. This is for an outdoor festival permit, that festival to be held on Thursday, May 2nd, 2013, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at 3425 Valley Pike, Winchester, Virginia. The property is owned by Virginia Eagle Distributing.
Questions of Mr. Riley? Is there anyone, is the applicant here and wish to speak?
Good evening, everybody. I'm Rusty Nicholson with Virginia Eagle Distributing. I really would appreciate your consideration for our application. It's a private event, invitation only. We're giving to some of our retail customers, and our own employees are coming in. We're a big fenced-in area, and we're having there is security on site because the Clydesdales are there. There will be alcohol served. And I think I've provided a letter from the ABC board that states that we do not need a license since we're already licensed on that premises. Very responsible event. We have tips, trained servers, training for intervention procedures, not to overserve people. It's just going to be light alcohol and a family event with other family drinks as well, like water and sodas and all that. Plenty of food.
First time, correct?
First time, yes, sir.
Are there any questions?
This isn't the first time the Clydesdale have been at your location. This is the first time you're having a private event with your Clydesdales, correct?
Yes, sir. It's been open to the public before, But we're just doing that private invitation thing, and I guess the only reason why we need that is because we're going to have some music there, live music,
Any other questions?
4 to 7.
Mr. Chairman, yeah, the original application I saw did not indicate where the shuttle parking was, or the off-premises parking was supposed to be. But
Yes,
I
sir.
see it in here tonight, and obviously all arrangements have been made to utilize that space.
Yes, sir. And we have vans that's going to pick up the customers and all that.
Supervisor Lofton?
Speaking of traffic, I think it's great that you're having a shuttle, but I assume all the invitations that have gone out have had that wording, will parking will not be allowed there. But will there be somebody there to control something if people do try to park in there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have, like I said, there is security there for the Clydesdale itself, and then plus our own employees. We'll manage all that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Sure. Thank you.
We now conduct a public hearing to consider an outdoor festival permit request of Virginia Eagle Distributing, Welcome Clydesdale, pursuant to Frederick County Code, Chapter 86, Festivals, Section 86.3. For an outdoor festival permit, the festival is to be held on Thursday, May the 2nd, 2013, from 4 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. at 3425 Valley Pike, Winchester, Virginia, property owned by Valley Eagle Distributing. Is there anyone here who would like to speak either for or against this festival permit? Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. The district is where?
Back Creek.
Back Creek.
Sir. Mr. Chair.
I wasn't sure.
Mr. Chairman, it appears that the event seems to be well thought out and all the items covered that I could think of that needed to be covered. So I would move for approval of the outdoor festival permit application for Virginia Eagle Distributing, Welcome Clydesdales.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Supervisor DeHaven. Any discussion? Hearing none. Supervisor Lofton?
Aye.
Supervisor DeHaven?
Aye.
Supervisor Ewing?
Aye.
Supervisor Fisher?
Aye.
Supervisor Collins?
Aye.
Supervisor Hess?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye, and the outdoor festival permit request of Virginia Eagle Distributing is approved. Next on the agenda, are there any board liaison reports? Hearing none, then we'll move on to citizen comments. This is the portion of the meeting the board sets aside for citizens to address the board on any topic. If you have something you would like to address, please come forward, give your name, magisterial district, limit your comments to 3 minutes, please. Is there anyone? Seeing no one, we'll close the citizen comment portion of the meeting. Board of Supervisors comments. Are there any?
Mr. Chairman,
Supervisor Ewing.
move for adjournment.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Supervisor Fisher. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Meeting adjourned. Record.